Welcome to NFL Nexus. All right, let's just get right into it. There could be a massive shift coming to the NFL landscape right there in Indiana. We're talking about the Chicago Bears. Yeah, one of the league's oldest teams, maybe, just maybe, packing up and moving to the Hoosier State. So, what would that actually mean for the Indianapolis Colts? Are we looking at a brand new heated rivalry? Or is this all just a bunch of noise, a distraction from what's really going on? In this explainer, we are going to cut through all the headlines and find out. Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we have to tackle the bombshell news about the Bears and this potential move. It's a big one. Then, we're going to see what the Colts front office is actually saying about it. And after that, we're going to pivot to what I think is the real story here. We're doing a deep dive into the 2025 draft class, the group that is quietly building the foundation for this team's future. We'll meet the key players from that class, and then, finally, we'll map out what all this means for the Colts' path to a championship. So right off the bat, this is the question that's on everybody's mind, right? I mean, for decades, the Colts have been it. They've been Indiana's one and only NFL team. So the thought of another franchise, another whole organization, setting up shop just an hour or two up the road, it's kind of jarring. It feels like it should change absolutely everything. But should it? Let's unpack what's really going on here. Okay, let's kick things off with the news that got this whole conversation started in the first place. After this long, drawn-out saga up in Illinois, the Chicago Bears have finally taken their biggest step yet toward finding a new home, and they are looking directly across the state line. And this right here is where it all gets very real. This isn't just talk anymore, not by a long shot. The Indiana legislature completely unanimously passed a key amendment. It's officially called Senate Bill 27, which is basically the legal green light they needed to build a brand new NFL-ready stadium in Northwest Indiana. And the spot they've picked out? Hammond. Now, for Indiana, this is a huge economic and political win, right? A chance to host a legacy franchise like the Bears. But for the Bears, this is a major plot twist in their very long, very frustrating search for a new home after just years and years of debate over public funding and where to build in Illinois. Now this is where the geography of the whole thing gets really, really interesting. I mean, for months, all we heard about was the Bears buying that property out in Arlington Heights, Illinois, which is a full 32 miles from their legendary home at Soldier Field. But look at this. This slide puts it all in perspective. The site they're talking about in Hammond, Indiana, is only 16 miles away, half the distance. You know what this tells us? The move isn't really about leaving the Chicago market at all. It's about finding a much better business deal with better tax structures and way more public support, just a little ways down the road in what is, let's be honest, still very much the greater Chicagoland area. So you hear that a historic NFL franchise is planning to set up shop right in your state. You'd expect the Indianapolis Colts to be sounding the alarms, right? You'd think they'd be drawing battle lines in the sand. Well, their actual reaction might just surprise you. It's pretty much a masterclass in just focusing on what you can control. And there it is. That quote right there from Colts Chief Operating Officer Pete Ward, that is the absolute pivot point of this whole explainer. Let me read it again. If they were talking about relocating deeper into the state, we might feel differently. That one sentence tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how the Colts see this. They don't see this as some invasion of their turf. They see it for exactly what it is, a Chicago team solving a Chicago stadium problem in a Chicago suburb that just so happens to be in Indiana. It's a calm, it's a confident, and honestly, a really smart response. And here's why that response makes so much sense. It all boils down to business boundaries that were already set in stone a long, long time ago. See, the NFL carves up the entire country into these marketing territories. They generally give teams exclusive rights within about a 75-mile radius of their home stadium. And because Hammond is well within that 75-mile bubble of downtown Chicago, it's already considered Bears country from a league marketing standpoint. The Colts don't advertise there. They don't hold any community events there. So when you look at it from a business and fan engagement side of things, nothing actually changes for Indianapolis. The whole initial drama of a two-team state just kind of evaporates when you look at the facts. Okay, so now that we've put that whole new neighbor threat into its proper context, we can finally turn our attention to what truly decides the future success or failure of the Indianapolis Colts. It's not about who moves in next door, it's about who they bring into their own house. And that conversation, well, it begins and ends with the NFL draft. And this grade right here really tells the story of the foundation they've been building. After having a full season to go back and really evaluate the tape, the 2025 draft class has earned a very, very strong B+ regrade. Now, you got to understand, in the NFL, a B+ draft isn't just good. It's the kind of draft that builds championship contenders. It means you got multiple guys who can start right away, and you got high-quality depth all over the place. This right here, this is the bedrock of a competitive roster, and it's absolute proof that the Colts front office, led by GM Chris Ballard, knows exactly how to build a winner that lasts. So let's actually break down the class that earned that B-plus grade. As you can see, they started out really strong, hitting premium positions in the first 2 rounds with tight end Tyler Warren and defensive end JT Tuimoloau. And don't worry, we're going to do a deeper dive on both of them in just a minute. Then, in the 3rd round, they snagged a really tough, versatile corner in Justin Wally out of Minnesota, a key piece for that secondary. In the 4th, they found an offensive tackle, Jalen Travis, who turned out to be just invaluable. But then look at the value they found on day 3. In the 5th, they add running back DJ Giddens from Kansas State, a powerful north-south runner to give Jonathan Taylor a breather. Then you get this fascinating 6th round, grabbing quarterback Riley Leonard from Notre Dame as a high-upside project to develop behind Anthony Richardson, and Tim Smith, a big defensive tackle from Alabama, to add some beef in the middle. And we'll definitely talk about that 7th-round pick, Hunter Wohler, a little later. You see, this isn't just throwing darts at a board, it's a methodical, balanced way to build a complete football team. You know, a B-plus grade isn't just about the names on a list. It's built on the backs of players who come in, outperform their draft slot, and make a real immediate impact. It's about what they did on the field. So let's put a spotlight on a few of the rookies who have already become central to what the Colts are doing moving forward. First up, the 1st-round pick himself, Tyler Warren. Now, coming out of Penn State, the scouting report was that he was an excellent blocking tight end. And hey, that's valuable, but it's not usually what you spend the 14th overall pick on. But Warren came in and completely shattered that idea. He didn't just block, he used that massive frame and his kind of deceptive athleticism to become Anthony Richardson's go-to guy inside the 20-yard line. He developed into the team's most reliable red zone weapon, period. And he quickly established himself not just as a starter, but as a top 10 player at his position in the entire NFL. That, my friends, is a home run pick. All right, now let's talk about the 2nd-round pick, JT Tuimoloau. If you just glance at the sack numbers, you might not be blown away, but football is so much more than just the box score. Tuimoloau was the definition of what we call a force multiplier. By consistently doing all the little things, like setting a hard edge, which means he never let running backs get outside, and just eating up double teams to collapse the pocket, he just made life easier for every single other player on that defensive line. His impact was felt in the success of guys like DeForest Buckner and Kwity Paye, and that is a sign of a truly valuable team player. You know, finding a quality offensive lineman in the 4th round is just a massive win for any front office. And Jalen Travis wasn't just some developmental guy they stashed on the bench. He stepped right in and became a crucial swing tackle. Now, what that means is he's the main backup for both the left tackle and the right tackle spots. You could argue those are the 2 most important positions on the entire line. In a league where O-line injuries are just going to happen, having a reliable guy like Travis is like finding gold. He solidified the entire unit's depth from day 1. And this right here is how a good draft becomes a great one, finding absolute gems in the final round. Hunter Wohler, the 232nd pick, he just embodies the kind of player this regime loves. The guy is a total Swiss Army knife. He contributes on defense, playing both linebacker and safety, which lets the defensive coordinator get really creative with his schemes. And he immediately became a core player on all 4 special teams units. Getting that level of versatility and production from a 7th rounder, that's a huge success. And it speaks volumes about the quality of this team's scouting department. So we've kind of diffused all the noise coming from the north, and we've examined the really solid foundation that's being built from within. So what does all this mean for the Indianapolis Colts? What's the ultimate takeaway as they start looking beyond this season and toward their championship goals? So really, the crucial point is this. The destiny of the Indianapolis Colts is being forged in their draft room and on their practice field, not in some real estate deal happening 150 miles away. Their success is going to be defined by their ability to stack successful draft classes, just like the one they had in 2025, and then develop that young talent into a championship team. And hey, speaking of deep dives, if you enjoy this kind of analysis that cuts through all the noise, do us a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to NFL Nexus. It really helps the channel grow. And by the way, another cool way to support us is by checking out our new line of coloring books. They're perfect for kids and adults. You can find the link for that down in the description or by using the QR code on your screen right now. And that brings us right to our final thought. We've established that the foundation is strong. They have cornerstone players on both sides of the ball thanks to this really impressive 2025 rookie class. So the real question for Colts fans isn't about their new neighbors, it's about their own house. What's the next piece of the puzzle? Is it a big-name free agent signing at cornerback? Another home run draft pick at wide receiver? Maybe a blockbuster trade? What is the one move that takes this promising young team from just being a playoff contender to being a true Super Bowl favorite? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because that's the conversation that truly matters. Thanks for watching.